Back with another one. Back with another one. Tav X Hebrews, purity and becoming one. I want you to hit that like button as you walk through the door of this video. Leave a comment and a subscribe. Also, I'm your brother, Mr. Real Talk. And this is your go-to YouTube channel for brotherhood, sisterhood, and an attempt at righteousness. What up, Hebrews? I know it's been a long day, maybe long night, or maybe early morning, depending on whoever you are, wherever you are, as you are intaking this video into your senses, okay? I'm not going to keep you long at all. This is just a little pick me up for the nation, okay? Because I am my brother's keeper. That's what we all striving to be around here. Love, 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 brother. Love, 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 sister. We are about love over here. Love, love, love. But we definitely want to bring out the truth. We have been fighting a battle, at least for the last 2,000 years, with our hands tied behind our back. Understand this, family. When you are learning new things, a lot of the times it can be very uncomfortable, okay? For example, everybody on this channel, I doubt that anybody on this channel was born a Most High only worshiper and a follower. Okay, I'm pretty sure, even if it was just for a year or two, at some point as a small tyke, a child, a young huckabuck, you believed in who the world calls the only begotten Son of God, JC, Yeshua, Yahushua, okay? And whenever it was, fam, whenever it was that you decided, hey, after long thought, researching, studying, and whatever else you had to do, some way, somehow, you came to the conclusion that you are no longer to praise, worship, and adore Christ or JC or Yeshua or Bahashem Yahushua, whatever name that means something to you. At some point, some way, somehow, you were able to figure out that that was all garbage. That's right. Anybody in here who's following Yeshua, Yahushua, JC, Christ, that is garbage. And that is divination. On the left-hand side, on the wicked side. Every time you go to church, every time you pray and you start saying in JC's name, in the name of anyone other than the God of the Old Testament and him alone, you're participating in divination, witchcraft, sorcery. Anybody out there saying that, hey, Christ died for me, brother, you are engaging in sorcery. Witchcraft, which most of our people, most of the people on planet Earth are engaging in that. And whoever you are watching this video, when you finally came to the conclusion, like all of us did, that you're no longer to worship, praise, and adore Christ, I guarantee that was one of the hardest things that many of us had to do, which was to walk away from Christ. And many of us, I'm sure, can have a good testimony about what it was like breaking away, trying to break away, setting out, wondering or not, were you sure or not? Was this the right thing? And even once you knew it was the right thing, something in the back of your mind tried to reel you back in some way, somehow. That's how this thing works, y'all. So now, once we've made the hurdle over into the Most High only lifestyle, this is what I've seen to notice, family. And this can happen to all of us. It has happened to the majority of us, including myself. Not intentionally, but here's what can happen. We'll start to get comfortable. We'll start to get comfortable. And then we'll start to think that, hey, we're never going to really learn anything else of that magnitude, that high gravity. And that's where we all are wrong at. There's always going to be more. Always. And the day that any of us start to think like, you know what? There's no more major pieces. We're not going to understand fully what's going on. Because there's always more major pieces to be revealed. Why you think there's not one person among us, not yet, who has spiritual power? Not to the degree that we're talking about. When somebody, him or her, whoever that person may be, gets equipped with this kind of power, we're going to know it. We're going to know it. This is heavy, y'all. And I understand why many people may be hesitant, okay? However, you're going to have to get out of your comfortability. Idol worship and this thing about Christ and Yeshua, it's not the only hoax. It's not the only deception. Another mass deception is, excuse me, another mass deception is that you're not to do any divination. All divination is evil. All divination is wicked. Which, if you watch the live stream that we did yesterday, Jacob doing righteous divination in Genesis 30, that's the live stream we did yesterday. We shattered and slam dunked any myths about all divination being evil. We proved that way beyond a shadow of a doubt. But for anybody who missed that yesterday, here's another quick peek. Divination happening twice in the Torah. Genesis 30 and verse 27. Listen, Genesis 30 and verse 27. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord have blessed me for thy sake. Look, the King James Version want to play with y'all, right? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this, family. Let's go read Genesis 30 and 27 in the Bible Hub. Because they definitely want to play with y'all. Watch this. Genesis 30 and 27. Watch this. This is what they're trying to hide from y'all. But we exposed this yesterday. Divination is all over the Old Testament. That's why nobody had nothing to say yesterday at the end of that live stream, because we more than beyond a shadow of a doubt proved it. Listen to this. Genesis 30 and 27. We're going to read it in multiple versions. Look, New International Version. And look, and you can tell King James really doesn't want the Israelites doing righteous divination. You see that? King James made sure they took that word out of there right there. Look at this. Genesis 30 and 27 in the NIV. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that Yahweh has blessed me because of you. You see that? That ain't it. Check out the English Standard Version. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your sight, I have learned by divination that Yahweh has blessed me because of you. Here's the Berean Standard Bible. But Laban replied, If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that Yahweh has blessed me because of you. Sound confirmation. Okay. What more do I need to do? You get the picture. Divination. Laban said he learned by divination. Okay. He was talking to Jacob. So in order for all divination to be evil, if that is true, like many of you are suggesting, which we know is not because we proved it yesterday, but according to many of you out there, all divination is evil. So how did Laban learn through divination? How did he learn through divination that Yahweh has blessed him because of Jacob? That means, according to many of you guys' logic, Yahweh will come and enter into evil, wicked, satanic divination, and he will inform somebody that they're being blessed in the midst, literally, while they are conducting satanic and evil divination. Because according to many of you, all divination is off limits and is evil, even though Laban learned by divination that Yahweh is blessing him. Yeah, y'all see that? Doesn't make sense at all, because all divination is not evil. Yahweh's not going to come in the middle of a demonic, satanic ceremony and declare blessings to anyone. It don't work like that. Okay? Now also, again, let's go and just take a look at a couple of verses in Genesis chapter 30. Okay? Let's take a look at a couple of verses, then I'm going to let y'all go. We're going to keep this nice and short. I'm just going back again, just in case anybody missed the live yesterday. Because sometimes you got to hear things a couple of times before it sinks in, fam. Jacob is doing divination, righteous, and he got wealthy because of it. Go back and watch the live stream we did yesterday for the whole story, okay? We just giving you the important parts, showing you, be getting straight to the point, righteous divination. Laban learned through divination. Genesis 30 and 27. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He learned that he was being blessed by Yahweh through divination. That's the way he learned. Was that evil? Yahweh put blessings on him while he's doing satanic evil divination, right? Of course not. Divination is righteous when you're doing it in the name of the Most High. Genesis chapter 30. Let's look at this. Here's Jacob doing a divination ritual. Look at this. We're going to find it. Here we go. Genesis chapter 30 and verse 37. Straight to it. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and piled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. Do you see that? And in the other version, it tells you these rods, these are branches, different tree branches that Jacob peeled it down, exposing the white in them, took those branches, went and sat them in front of the watering trough. Why did he do that? It said, so what? So that they should conceive when they came to drink. Yeah. What do you call somebody taking branches of a tree from different branches? Okay. What kind of branches did he take? It says it right here. Green poplar and of the hazel and the chestnut tree. The other version says an almond, okay, and peeled white strakes in them. He peeled a strip of white in all the branches, okay, and made the white appear which was in the rods. He made those things visible, okay, and he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink. Now, why is he doing all this? This is a ritual. It's a ceremony. It's called divination. That's why he doing it. Okay? Why is he doing it? That they should conceive when they came to drink. Now, how in the world is rods from a tree and branches gonna make animals get pregnant when they come drink from the watering trough? It's called divination. You call it magic divination. I don't care what you call it. I know you see this. Everybody sees it. The cat is out of the bag. Go watch the live stream we did yesterday. We read the whole chapter. I just gave you straight to the point. What do you call that? Gathering all these different tree branches, okay? Peeling a strip of white in them and setting them before the animals that they would see them when they come to drink. Go check out the whole live stream we did yesterday. Two hours and like 20 minutes. I just gave you a real quick version today in case you in a rush. It ain't no way around it. Genesis 30 and 27, Laban says he learned through divination. Matter of fact, nope, because I got to drive this point all the way in. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. You're going to get this. You're going to get this. We're going to get this. The amplified version. We're going to get this. Going right back to Genesis 30. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Y'all going to deal with this. Genesis chapter 30. What does it say? This is a ritual. This is divination. Listen to this. Genesis 30 and 37. But Jacob took fresh rods of poplar and almond and plane trees and peeled white streaks in them, exposing the white in the rods. Then, verse 38, then he set the rods which he had peeled in front of the flocks in the watering troughs where the flocks come to drink. And since they bred and conceived, since they bred and conceived when they came to drinks. Did y'all see that? Did you see that? Look at verse 39. The flocks bred and conceived in sight of the rods, and brought forth lambs and kids, streaked, speckled, and spotted. And those are all the lambs that's going to belong to Jacob. And look at the end of this verse at the end. Thus the man increased and became exceedingly rich. Wow. Thus the man increased and became exceedingly rich, and had many sheep and goats, and maidservants and manservants, camels and donkeys. Do y'all see that? That's how Jacob got extremely rich, by doing divination. Can I get an amen out there? If you are in here right now and you see that that's how Jacob got rich. Divination. We read it yesterday. 2 hours and 20 minute live yesterday. We broke it all the way down. I just gave you the short version today. Do you see it? Do you see how Jacob is in the Torah doing righteous divination? And he got extremely wealthy off of that. On top of that, how about that? Using divination to get extremely wealthy. That's what Jacob did. Is Jacob wicked? Is Jacob wicked? I rest my case. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tav X Hebrews, purity and becoming one. I'm out.